Everybody, welcome back to the Beyond the Peloton podcast. I'm Spencer Martin, author of the Beyond the Peloton newsletter. I'm here, as always, with Andrew Vontz from the Choose the Hard Way podcast, the Always the Hard Way newsletter. We're doing another car cast. Andrew's on his way to treatment for... I'll let you explain what you're doing, Andrew, but we are on the move. Both of us are time compressed this morning, time and space compressed, but we want to get these Tour de France takes off. We want to update the people. You just sent out a newsletter. I just read it. I'd love to talk about it with you on here, but how are you doing?
The Tour de France waits for no man or human. And here we are. We're doing it in the time we have. I'm doing well. I'm on my way to the hospital in Portland, about 2 hours from my house. I'm going to be an inpatient, ideally just for 24 hours. I'm getting this incredible immunotherapy that's so powerful. It can do interesting things to your brain. So they need you to be in the hospital to make sure they have everything they need in case your incredible brain does something extraordinary. I'm sure it's going to go fine. And in 24 hours, I'll have even less cancer in my body, which is exciting. And I wanted to make sure, Spencer, that we had some time to talk about the big thing in July, which is the Tour de France. It's here. And yes, I've
Yeah.
been writing about pro cycling. I'm planning to put out as many newsletters as possible with my observations and thoughts about what's happening in the race. If you have not checked out my newsletter, I'm at alwaysthehardway.substack.com, link in show notes, and I believe there's a link in Spencer's newsletter as well. Been really enjoying your takes, Spencer. Been enjoying the move. How is everything going?
Things are good. Things are busy. I'm up in, I think last time we talked for the previous show, I was in London, and now I'm up in Aspen, aka Asp, like the crap part of Aspen, Snowmass, which I do quite like. It's a ski resort, like a purpose-built ski resort, like 1,000 feet above Aspen.
Yeah, the
Very beautiful.
common
It's
man's Aspen. Yeah.
the comment is very smoky, very dry, very smoky, quite concerning. Maybe we might just have to pivot this podcast to extreme weather, because that's all we seem to be in when we're doing the show. But busy doing the move every day, doing the move plus with Johan Bernil after the move, and then trying to get the newsletter out, and then doing some secret consulting that maybe we'll talk about at some other date. But I kind of miss London, if I'm going to be honest with you. I mean, it's beautiful being up here, but it is kind of jarring. You come from the hustle and bustle of the city where you can get anything within 10 minutes, and then I need some Nespresso pods, and they're not selling them up here. And it's taken Amazon a couple days to get them up. So I'm adjusting to the rural Colorado life, but it's been a good, I would say, pretty good start to this Tour de France. If just to update people live right now, stage 3 is happening. Kind of an interesting stage. There's a breakaway away with Mads Pedersen, with Magnus Cort. If he wins, I'm getting $4,000 in my back pocket because I put a little bit of money on him last night. So I'm hoping Magnus Cort can pull through. But stage 1 was a team time trial, won by Visma, which I frankly didn't see coming. I didn't think they had the horses to do it, but they know what they're doing. They can just, what do they say, turn chicken shit into chicken salad. Like, they're just kind of this oddball group of guys, and they win the team time trial. Net Company Ineos was second. Basically, Net Company Ineos, or no, it was like Filippo Ganna presented by Net Company Ineos. Like, basically, he was pulling the entire time, and he almost won the team time trial by himself. Very sad that he didn't get that yellow jersey and win. And then Pogačar was 12 seconds back, and I don't know how much you watched this team time trial, Andrew, but it was dire. Like, it was just him and Del Toro, both of them leaders with 2 climbs to go, basically, and these guys had to feather their effort because they don't want to blow up. And then Pogačar drops the fastest time on the climb up to the finish. 12 seconds lost. No big deal for him. He's not stressing it because then stage 2 comes around. Amazing stage in Barcelona. I don't know what you thought about it. I have not talked to you about the stage, but amazing stage. I thought Pogačar was going to drop a bomb, but no, because what does he want? He wants Isaac Del Toro, his teammate, 22-year-old teammate, to get a stage win in his first Tour de France. It took him 2 days to get his first Tour de France stage, so maybe Pogačar felt bad for him. And I've never seen anything like this. So they go over the climb. Pogačar's closing moves. Del Toro gets on the radio and is like, "Oh, am I supposed to be doing something here?" And I think they're like, "Hey, yeah, go close moves at the front so we can win this." And he goes through the final corner. Like, it's like 80 to 90 kilometers an hour, and he goes through
Oh, it
that
was
corner.
like Luke Lamperti at
At
Tulsa Tough.
Tulsa
I
Tough.
mean,
Yeah, that
yeah.
was crazy. rips out the front. Very clever because it pulls Jonas Vingegaard out. He has to get on Del Toro's wheel, and then Pogačar is on Vingegaard's wheel. Pogačar sprints around him. Vingegaard follows him, and Pogačar says, "Wait a second. My guy's over there by himself. Let's see what he can do." And Pogačar's just freewheeling basically as Del Toro is riding hard to the finish, and everyone they're going so hard that Vingegaard and Remco Evenepoel, everyone else is getting dropped. They're losing time, like 3 seconds in an uphill sprint. Vingegaard and Evenepoel can't close the gap to Pogačar, let alone Del Toro. So Pogačar's freewheeling, like yelling at his teammate to go, go, go. They're celebrating. They are hugging on the bike before they've crossed the finish line with Jonas Vingegaard and Remco Evenepoel, two of the best riders in the world, sprinting as hard as they can to avoid getting dropped. I've never seen anything like it. Del Toro wins. Tadej Pogačar was happier than I've maybe ever seen him for his teammate to win. And I think you noted in your newsletter that, Tadej is like, he's with the crowd. He's grabbing a Mexican flag. He's celebrating with it. Smash cut to Jonas with the N95 mask on. I thought Jonas looked very not happy, very stressed yesterday, but he kind of always looks like that. So don't want to read too much into it. What did you think of the stage, Andrew?
I don't want to read too much into Jonas being a poopy pants with an N95 mask immediately following the stage. He might have had bigger things on his mind. Maybe a new washer dryer or some laminate flooring was being delivered to
And he's not there to sign
house.
for it? Oh my
Yeah,
God, the stress.
he's not there to sign for it. He's looking forward to getting back into the home improvement projects following the tour. And I also have to think, just to touch on a few key details here. Number one, as you mentioned, you're in Snowmass, Aspen adjacent. I know what everyone listening is wondering, which style of hat are you going with? Do you have a traditional cowboy hat, as people often like to wear there in Aspen while visiting? Or are you going with more of an Ojai felt hat that's more of the, like an ayahuasca shaman on the weekends, but with a nod towards the cowboy hat shape? What have you got?
Yeah, that's a very important distinction. There was a very famous cyclist at a rodeo on Instagram. I sent you the picture. I said, I think I said, my culture is not your costume. I was very up in arms about it. And you've got a laser eye for these. You spotted that Ojai brim so fast, and that there is a major distinction. I've done the bold thing of just forgetting any hats. So I'm getting my face fried. I need, if I'm going to be serious for a second, farmers they wear baseball caps. Okay, people. All right. Nobody's wearing those cowboy hats that's actually out there doing the work. That's my 2 cents. But yeah, if anyone wants to send me a nice little baseball cap, I might wear one. So hit me up if you want to do that.
Well, maybe Lucas Burgoyne could send you a proper cowboy hat and send you to a hat shaper. The other thing I wanted to note, we have the Ure fire happening in Colorado. I don't know if you have a different wildfire impacting you. And of course, today on stage 3, I believe the final 40K are spectator free. I guess just to make room for the noxious gas from wildfires in Europe. Is that correct?
Well, I think the reason we also have a Leadville fire, which is very close to here, which outside of being like dangerous and bad, it does make me worried about Leadville happening. I'm not quite sure about that because if they have a fire now, which is supposed to be kind of a rainy season, what's it going to be like in August? But I think the
Can you
reason there's no
imagine how many private equity partners are having to switch their PJ
oh, dude.
reservations for that month just based on whether or not they're going to do the race? They want the buckle, man.
I was on an email chain recently with someone that has one of these cards, and you put money on it and then you can take private jets with it. And they're just like,
Yeah, as
the
one does,
company
right?
emails you and they're like, "Oh yeah, it's about to expire." And then the person's like, "So I get refunded?" They're like, "No, we keep it." I'm like, that's a great little business. Maybe that's what we should
We're
be
gonna go
pivoting
ahead and keep
into.
that. Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
send you
I
some
put my
a free
yeah, that's
packet of foil wrapped peanuts. Yeah.
30 grand on a PJ card. Yeah, it's just going back to us. You can use it on a future date. We'll give you a 10% coupon. But the question you asked, so I think there's no spectators. I think it's quite clever because I don't think they want people barbecuing on the side of the road because they're worried about them starting fires because it's so dry. I believe that's why there's no spectators.
it makes a lot of sense because we've
Makes a
seen a
lot of
lot of
sense, actually, yeah.
yeah, a lot of spectator behavior that is a result of probably 36 plus hours of consuming alcohol. I have to assume that bath salts are in play in some of these gatherings, primarily alcohol, though. I don't think the conscious sobriety has fully hit Europe yet, mainland Europe. I know it's big in the UK with cycling influencers, but I don't think it's made it over to the mainland. I felt like Spencer, stage two, you and I have been talking for literally years now about the power of circuit finishes and how compelling they are. Man, what a finish. And I mean, I guess we have Milan as the counterfactual here, where it was a complete dud, perhaps due to road furniture and overly dangerous parkour. But
I mean, kind of a
yesterday,
dud, though, because you had that
yeah,
the
yeah,
breakaway away was pretty exciting, but yeah, not from the GC group.
yeah. But yesterday in Barcelona, man, just displayed the beauty of the city. It's like, man, I can't wait to go to Barcelona next summer, which is gonna
I
happen. And maybe
y
we'll hit
y
it after the Costa Blanca,
I
we'll
had the
go to
exact
Sagrada Familia, like do a bike tour, go to the Olympic Stadium. Maybe we'll carry a torch on our own just because.
I had the exact same thought. I thought because it costs a lot of money to host these starts, and I'm like, "Is this really worth it?" And the way they framed it, like the images, it's yeah, I'm ready to go. Sign me up. I'm going to Barcelona right now.
Yeah, maybe we can carry a torch and at the
It is
end we'll get JK a 100-inch television from Costco.
it's only a 7-hour drive from the Costa Blanca, so we'll be road
Yeah,
tripping down there. We'll be hitting up
they've got a
Barcelona.
Costco in Barcelona, I'm positive. Yeah,
You
thinking
can't
about the
you can't
finish
take the
yesterday,
ferry from Majorca too.
oh, perfect, it's got everything, I love it. Thinking about
Yeah.
the finish of
Yeah.
stage 2, I touched on this in my newsletter. You can read it always, thehardway.substack.com, or search for Choose the Hard Way on Substack. Link in bio at HardwayPod on Instagram. It just seems like Pog has completely won the mind game already. As you noted, sitting up, freewheeling, the guy was just fingers and nose. He had time to just sit up and look around during, like in the finale when Remco and Jonas were gasping for breath and simply could not close the gap. Probably had to feather the brakes to let Del Toro come through. And my sources are telling me when you looked at the downhill right-hander into the finishing straight, which kind of reminded me of the finale of Milan San Remo, actually, because it's coming off a downhill with speed into a straightaway, and it's a decisive corner there. He looked like he might possibly not stick to the road as he came around. And from what I understand, that is an off camber, steep downhill with bad pavement and numerous manhole covers. It was a high risk maneuver, and I mean, he came through like Mav.
Yeah, I that was because you're all we always are at odds about, like, what's a dangerous course? What's a dangerous course? I thought that was a pretty good example of a pretty dangerous course because you have to go so fast, and we cannot stress how off camber this downhill was. I was freaked out watching that, but I wonder if it's part of the reason why Pogačar didn't attack on the climb because then you'd have to really push it on the descent. So I almost wonder, was that him holding back a little bit? Like, "Oh, I'll just sit in the group," instead of having to go faster than the group on that descent. But you know who wasn't holding back? Isaac Del Toro in that corner. What did you think about that?
I mean, it was mind blowing. I've seen few corners taken like that.
And what do you always what makes a champion? Like, it's like low anxiety. You have some saying for it, but whatever it is, Del Toro has it because he was not stressing that. I know a lot of really good cyclists who do stress stuff like that. They physically are amazing, but they'd be like, "Oh, that's a sketchy corner. Don't want to go around that." He clearly is like just not concerned at all. That's what impressed me the most. Like his ability just to be like, "I got to take this corner this fast to get through first," and then
Yeah,
just does it with so much on
just
the line.
yeah, autopilot, low neuroticism, and in the moment, he just made the move that he needed to make and took a risk that I mean, he was coming around people who were pinned looking like they were standing still,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Like Skelmoza was in front of him, and he looked like he was going twice as fast as him, and Skelmoza was going as fast as he could to the corner.
Yeah, and it's something that it reminded me of just on this topic. I am curious to see how Matthew Vanderpool's big news that he is going to become a father that was announced in a Vanity Fair like Instagram post announcing the pregnancy. I'm wondering if that's going to weigh on his mind at all, or if he'll continue to be a killing machine.
Yeah, that's a very because I was just talking to somebody and I was saying, I don't know why these guys like I just couldn't imagine wanting to have a family and kids when I was a pro like as a pro cyclist. And I was like, Vanderpool's doing it right, man. He's got no kids, nothing tying him down. And then the next day announces he's having a kid. I don't know. I mean, some of these athletes, they just don't operate like us. I think like our friend JK always thinks that he's like, oh, Nielsen Palace is having a kid. He's got to be up changing those diapers. It's like, I don't think that's exactly how that works. I think
Yeah,
some of these people are in their own world, if I would put it, just kindly, where they're
yeah.
focused on what they're doing. And I don't think the baby gives them as much noise as it does the rest of us. But it could change things. I heard a rumor, not really a rumor, but I don't even know if I should say this, but it's like a well-sourced piece of information that a big, big, big time cyclist is gonna be retiring at the end of this year due to family commitments and, crashes, basically. Being sick of crashing and wanting to spend more time with his kids. And, like, this name would shock you if I said it. So, you can probably guess who it is. And it's not
Coming
Tadej
soon.
Pogačar.
Yeah, and it might be somebody
Yeah.
who's had
Yeah.
a sepsis in their elbow recently. Would be my guess.
Yeah, someone that is not at the Tour de France, but is a big star. I
Well, I
don't
mean,
believe the source is incredibly good, but I almost don't believe it. It's because I could say to you one day, like, I'm gonna quit my job," and I believe it in the moment, but then I'm not gonna do it. You know what I mean?
yeah. I mean, I'm just assuming we're talking about Daniel Benson's newsletter. This is the source, right? 'Cause it always has it always has whatever the cutting edge rumor is, it's going there first. Some agent has planted a story just to kind of feel out the marketplace. I don't know if Wout's going for a Nike Run Club deal on the other side of this or what,
Well, yeah,
but
I actually had a
we'll
team
find
manager
out.
complain to me about this because what happens is that agents will leak, like Oscar Onley signed for 6 million pound transfer fee, and then Benson writes it. But it's just a way to jack the market rates up. Like you said this 2 years ago, but, Oscar Onley did not cost Netcompany Ineo 6 million pounds. It was like a fraction of that. But then Benson writes it and everyone thinks that's the market, and then it increases the market for everybody else. So it is a clever tool that agents use.
It's a clever tool. I I thought that not having Wout there would have a bigger impact for Visma, particularly in the opening time trial.
I know, I
Equal
know.
right?
Yeah.
Equally, I mean, I was shocked. It was, Matteo Jorgensen there. I think he was one of the final 3 riders in the Visma train in the incredibly confusing team time trial that was actually an individual time trial that no
Presented
one in
by
my
one's
family
team.
yeah, that no one in my family understood even after we'd watched the 4th highlights video and I'd explained it 10 times. I found it to be kind of exciting just because
I could
you
tell
could
you the
turn on
same thing was happening on the set of the move. The same
okay,
confusion that you were having with your
right.
family, yes.
So it doesn't matter if you raced the Tour de France, if you won it, no one knew what was actually going on except perhaps ASO and the riders themselves. I didn't quite understand what was going on with UAE, and equally, I wrote about this in my first newsletter about the Tour de France. Can dig back one day in the archives to get that. But again, Pog's gift is he is just super loose. The guy is more relaxed than we've ever seen him. The professional who was wearing the strange jersey with "Stop Taking My Photo," which was Pog 18 months ago. This guy is he must just have legs like no one has ever had in the history of humankind to exude the level of confidence and joy that he seems to possess right now.
Well, and think about this. So all of that happens yesterday. The time bonuses, he gives them away. He could have taken real time too, doesn't do it. and he's behind. Like, that's a crazy
Right.
subplot. He's needs to take time on Jonas, and he purposely didn't do it because he's so confident that he's gonna take it later. That to me, I was stunned. At the end of the I've never been more stunned by a non-win. I just sat there. I couldn't even form words. I've never seen anything like that. And I kind of wonder if the better mood is a function of Del Toro, because what a situation that is where, Pog can now, like, push the attention to him because he's the cool new thing. It's so cool that, we have this Mexican, only the 3rd ever stage win for a Mexican rider, and Del Toro making this guy is a star. And not a star of the future, he is a star of the present. I think he will finish in the top 3 at this Tour de France, probably 2nd, but he can kind of push all the stuff onto Del Toro. I had someone write in and ask if Pogačar would gift the Tour de France to Del Toro. I don't think that's gonna happen, but for some of these stage wins, it is a very good situation for Pogačar, and I wonder if it's contributed to his better mood.
I also yesterday had to field at least half a dozen inquiries about why someone would hand someone else a stage win, which we have talked about ad infinitum. I think starting with I think there was some incident between Primos and I don't even remember what race it was. I feel like it was a 1 week stage race and Primos was winning the overall. People
I
felt
think it
he
was
should have
Gino
handed it.
Mater, and he, like, mowed him down.
Oh man, wow. Gosh, he probably he might regret that one in
Well, he didn't know that
retrospect.
he was gonna pass
Yeah, he
away.
didn't know what
We
was
should
gonna.
we should say
Yeah,
how yeah, or yeah.
yeah.
I hate when people say that because it's like, well, okay, yeah, of
He
course, he
didn't know,
didn't know.
man. Yeah,
Of
he didn't
course,
know.
like, you saying that now makes me think he should have known, but,
Yeah,
we should
yeah,
say, like, big difference because Gino Mater was not on Primoz Roglic's team. It's different
yes.
ball game when it's teammate to teammate, I think.
Y yes, yet another aspect of professional cycling that though, when you're in this tour period, when you're watching with civilians and necessarily they're asking you a question every 15 seconds because it simply doesn't make sense. You're not you're not watching F1 where it's the car in front is winning the race. You have the guy who's trying to win the overall letting his teammate win because why? And I'm part of my hypothesis.
Good vibes, baby.
Yeah,
That's
good
why.
vibes. I think it does keep spirit in the team high. These guys that are support riders sacrifice everything for their leaders like Pog. And Del Toro is a tour winner. He's going to win the tour, and Pog must want him on his team. And I have to think,
Yep.
at least subconsciously, he's thinking, man, I don't want this guy to go to another team in 2027. And I know that Del Toro signed through 2029 because I was researching this yesterday as I was writing about it. And we also know that these contracts are not worth the paper that they're written on in professional cycling. UAE has deep pockets today. The PIF did as well when they funded Live Golf, and then all of that evaporated overnight when some market conditions changed, and that could happen with Team UAE as well. It doesn't seem like it, but there could be a richer team that just pops out of nowhere. Who knows? It's an oligarch from who knows where. I don't know. Elon Musk decides I'm not just going to put data farms in space. I'm going to put Isaac Del Toro in space as a Tour de France winner, and he has the world's first $100 million cycling contract. It could happen.
Yeah, I mean, I don't wanna get it's not like a political statement, but, people always use, like, Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos, like, "They're gonna buy a sports team." It's like, "No, because you know what? Those guys are freaking nerds, dude." They don't appreciate sport. I've never once heard Jeff Bezos wax poetic about any sport. Same thing with Elon Musk. They don't have what it takes to own a sports team,
Right.
Andrew, and I'm
Let me
sick
ask,
of people talking
yeah.
about it. But, we should also
Well,
say, do you remember World Championships? Who pulled for Pogačar when they were off the front, and they were on different teams in that World
oh
Championships?
man, it's got to be
Mr.
Isaac Del
Isaac
Toro.
Del Toro. He
Yeah.
buried himself for Pogačar in a World Championships when he was technically the team leader of Mexico. I think
Right.
this was a little payback for that. Just like it's also good to always have some favors sprinkled around out
Right.
there.
Do you think there's any possibility that we see a certain someone put in a call to remove a stage winner to give Quinn Simmons a stage win in the 2026 Tour de France?
I wa I was shocked when I saw that news yesterday. So, I wouldn't put you can't say no. You can't confidently say no, can you? Could
You
happen.
can't. Yeah,
Have everyone removed from the race so Quinn Simmons is the overall winner.
yeah. TBD. We'll see. Speaking of Little Trek, Juan Ayuso, again, this is the counterfactual to the Del Toro could win the Tour argument. I think Del Toro far superior talent to Ayuso, much cooler head, much more relaxed, definitely lower neuroticism. And
Yeah,
Ayuso,
oh, yeah.
is this like what? Where is this project going? Is this just going into the ground?
You're like an executive at a tech company writing email. Where is this project going exactly? Why are we dumping so much money into this? The thing about Ayuso, and the reason we should probably be somewhat kind to him at this moment is, Lantern Rouge pointed this out yesterday, and I thought it was a really good observation. He's not an explosive rider. You think because of his build, like he kind of has this like a swimmer's body, like he's a big, strong guy for a cyclist, and you think that he would be good on days like today, but he's not, or days like yesterday, he's not really good. He's kind of a diesel, but and he did have a good team time trial, so I'm curious to see how he does later in this race. The thing about Ayuso, though, is he's big but not explosive, which is a bad
Interesting.
combination because it means you're vulnerable on these big, he's every time we get to, like, big climbs, people are like, "Well, he's not that good of a climber." I say, "Well, that's kind of a problem if you wanna win the Tour de France, because guess what's at the Tour de France? A lot of climbs." So, I mean, this is kind of a hot take, but he's a little bit of he's like a Ferrari version of Enric Mas, a little bit.
Okay.
He's very good, like, good diesel climber, can do good things on climbs, but I don't think he's explosive enough to win a lot of stages as a GC leader, and he loses time on days like yesterday where explosion is important. So, I don't know if he's even underperforming. I think this is just kind of what Ayuso is, and yeah, it does beg the question of why would you acquire him for that amount of money if he's not ever gonna be better than Del Toro or Pogačar or hell, even like Oscar Onley, like, might be a better Tour de France GC rider than Juan Ayuso.
How do you think spirits are over at Red Bull between Remco and Lipowitz?
Oh, I'm glad you asked. Glad you asked. So, I have the hot
Seems
take on
very
this. I think
collegial. Yeah.
I think everything is fine. It looks like a disaster. Like you've got Remco dropping Lipowitz. You got him drop on the team time trial. Lipowitz is getting dropped yesterday. I went back and looked. Lipowitz lost 2 minutes through the first 4 stages last year and then finished on the podium. So this is like a
Wow.
resounding success for Florian Lipowitz. He's doing way better than he did last year. And if you're Florian Lipowitz, it's kind of binary. Like either Remco's gonna do the Remco thing in the mountains and get dropped, or Remco's gonna be great, like in 2024. Either one you don't really have to worry about. Like if Remco is riding to the level that he can, you're probably not gonna beat him. So don't even worry about it. But what have we seen from Remco in the last like 2.5 years? I don't think he's finished like in the top 3 of any stage race and has really struggled. So I wouldn't if I was Lipowitz, I just wouldn't worry about it at all. Like, whatever is gonna happen is gonna happen. He's actually riding pretty good for he's just terrible on these type like, you could not design a worse opening to the Tour de France for Florian Lipowitz, and he's done pretty well with it, I think. So, I would just, like, don't be distracted by the noise. Remco's still gotta prove himself in the mountains, and you know what? You're not gonna beat Pogačar anyway. So, just go out there and have some fun, would be my advice to the guys.
It's an interesting A/B test as well between Remco's approach of taking a vast amount of time off from competition just to specifically prepare for the Tour and Lipowitz continuing to race. And I've watched a Remco interview. I guess it was the team presentation or whatever, the interviews they do with the riders the day prior to the Tour. Remco was very cagey. Again, going back to this seems like a very someone with very high neuroticism. He's not relaxed at all. Lipowitz doesn't seem to be very engaged in the psychodrama that is being created of the tension between them. Remco is just really wound up already. And he talked about the reason for him taking time off from competition is because he changed trainers, and he wanted to get used to his new trainer, and I just thought, you also could get used to your trainer while competing and going to bike races. We'll find out, though, which approach yields the best result in the coming weeks.
Yeah, I mean, Remco's not a normal person, or actually, I almost think he is more like a normal person. The way he reacts is how normal people would react in those situations. Like, the way
Yeah,
Pogačar reacts is not normal, but just his physiology is not normal, and so no one should probably copy what he does, but he does quite well, actually, when he doesn't race for a long time and just gets dropped into a stage race. So, seems to be like it's working out for him okay. I wouldn't copy it. But do you know what name we have not mentioned, and we have to mention before we go? Big Rich
I
Paul,
can't.
success.
Oh,
Paul
yes, Big
success.
Rich Paul success. Just hiding in the shadows. He's ready to win.
He is, and he's
Yeah.
actually had there was a French journalist who I thought this was an interesting take saying, like, he's had a rough month, basically. He crashes really hard at the Dauphiné, still banged up for it, still banged up from it, wearing bandages, has a disaster of a bike change yesterday, gets a flat at the worst possible time. But man, I would say secretly ride of the day because he has no teammates with him, which is a little weird to me. He's eating wind, pulling the Peloton back, gets back in the Peloton, but he's at the back when the climbing starts. When Visma's or UAE's at the front with McNulty just crushing it, and he gets back to the front. There's not many riders that can do that. Gets back to the front. He loses 3 seconds in that sprint, and his team, like, during the team time trial, if you watched it, they just kind of were sitting on his wheel as he time trialed around, so that was not great for him. So he's a little bit further back than everybody. He is in 6th place, I believe, at 49 seconds, 42 seconds back. But I would say pretty good opening weekend for him, all things considered. He did just lose. Matthew Riccatello
Yeah,
just crashed and looks
completely, and
like he's suffering, and he's 9 minutes behind the
oh,
Peloton. So
no.
that could be not good for him. Also with multiple teammates.
That's
So
not good.
that's not great for Paul's success, and that's sad for Matthew. But in terms of Paul's just actual physical performance, I was quite impressed.
Right, and perhaps Pog is so elated and relaxed because he knows that Jonas does actually have flu right now. Maybe Jonas is actually currently sick. It's a 3-week race. Anything can happen at any moment, and I'm still all in on Big Rich Paul.
We'll be watching how this race unfolds over the next few days. We'll be back as soon as we can, as soon as our schedules and health allow. So everybody enjoy watching the Tour de France, and we'll be back soon.